Welcome back to SharePointHillbilly.com. As always, I am your host, Mark Rackley, and I thought today I would create a video that takes you through my most read blog, which is creating a parent-child list relationship in SharePoint. There's been a lot of questions and comments. Hopefully I can clear some things up, show you a couple of neat tricks, and I've actually learned to do things a little bit better since then. So I wanted to do the whole thing over as a video. I'm going to go pretty fast, so luckily it's in video, so you can pause it if I do. So let's get started. First thing I need to do is create a site. So you go to Site Actions, Create. We're going to create a site. Give a title called Issues, same URL of Issues, and it's just going to be a blank site. Let's create that. Didn't take too long. Now we got to get our two lists set up. We're going to have a list that store issues. This is exactly the same application I created before, but this time in video. So let's do a list to store our issues. We're going to call it issues and create it. We're not going to add any fields to it because we just care about having this parent list called issues. Now we need to create our child list, which is going to be called time. So go to create the list, time. This is going to be the child list that holds all the time entries for these issues. So let's add a couple more columns to this list. So we go to Settings, List Settings, then we go to Create Column. The first thing we want to store is the number of hours that this time entry is for. That's just a number field, and let's add it. We also want to store probably the entry date, so we know what day this time entry was created for. Could be for some date in the past, some date in the future. You know, when you're logging your time, you generally want to say what date you worked on it. So lastly, we need a column that is the ID of the parent. So we're going to call this issue ID, and this is going to help us set up that parent-child relationship. So we have a column called issue ID. It is going to be a lookup, and it's going to be a lookup from the issues list on the ID field. Okay, when we're done with that, we click OK. So that's basically all there is to that. We have a time entry, which has our title, hours, entry date, and the issue ID, and we have the parent list, which is just a title. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open the whole thing up in SharePoint Designer and set up some more of the list relationships. So get the URL for your site that you just created. Open up your handy dandy SharePoint Designer and go to File, Open Site, and put in the URL for that site. That will open up for you fairly quickly, and what you do then is we want to expand the lists, go to our issues lists, and we want to open up the display form, because what we want to do is we want to see the list of all the time entries when someone views an issue. This turns out to be fairly simple to do. If we go down to our screen here, I know it's a little small with this 800 by 600, but we want to just get this time list in here. So create a little space for the time list, and you can just drag and drop that list directly on here, and it should pop right in there any second now. So how's the weather where you are? It's cold and rainy here. I think it's in the 40s and rainy. No snow yet. Did you see Florida get beat? That was pretty great. Although Arkansas should have beat them, I believe. But those refs, always out to get us. Okay, I'm still waiting. Hello, any day now. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to stop the video because this sucks.